Hey BlkOps, this month's flow is going to be all about focusing on those quads, hips, and some spinal work too. We're going to get started on our backs. So once you find your way onto your mat, come to lay down flat. Bring your feet flat to your mat. Bring your knees so that they're bent up towards the sky here. You can take your arms off to the sides here to kind of just soften the shoulders to the mat. And right away, start to take some movement in the low body. Windshield wipering knees side to side. If it's okay for your neck, you could even take your gaze in the same direction as your legs. Or for a deeper twist, take your gaze in the opposite direction of your legs. To work into those hips even a little bit more, let one leg lead and then the other leg follow, creating a little bit of space between them to help open up those hips here nice and early as you massage out the low back. Forward and back you go at whatever speed, whatever pace feels right for you. And after a couple rocks side to side, take those knees back through center, give them a hug up into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and cradle yourselves here in a little ball as you rock that out of the spine to massage yourselves out. Both feet come flat to the mat. And we're going to take a variation of what we usually do in class, which is threading the needle with our shoulders, but we'll take this with our low body. So on your next in-breath, just extend those right toes, right heel flexes up towards the sky. Use this exhale to point those toes back by your face so you have a nice long line of energy running up the back of that leg. Stirring out the ankle, swirling out the knee to work out those creaks and cracks. When we take this in class, I oftentimes hear them. So make sure you work out any of that tightness, that stiffness you might have been carrying there. On your next in-breath, extend your right toes up nice and tall, long leg. On your breath out, bend your right knee, curl the right foot underneath your left thigh in that space, and you're going to land your right foot down next to your left bum. And you're opening up the right knee towards the mat here. Take your left hand, clip your right ankle, and hug it in close. You're working that right ankle down as much as you're opening up that right knee towards the mat. The closer that right knee space touch to the mat, the deeper you'll feel this quad stretch. And this is pretty intense, pretty early. So if you're feeling a little tight, maybe you keep it here. But if you're ready to take it a little bit deeper, you can float your left foot up off the mat and pull that left knee up into your chest. Right hand comes around the top of the left shin to help hug it in. And there, I'm sure you're going to feel that quad stretch, whether you're doing this from home or here at the gym. A nice way to work into that quad in a pretty soft way, but this is a very active stretch. Again, your goal is to work that right knee open towards your mat as much as you're hugging this left knee in. To release, we exit the same way we came in. Release your left foot down to the mat. Release your ankle from your left hand. Right ankle swims its way, unravels itself back up to sky. Let the blood come back through that long leg here before you land it down to the mat, and we take this on the other side. This time it's left toes that swim up to sky and flex back by your face. Work in some movements here, like you're pedaling out your air bicycle, fluttering out your toes, swirling out your ankle here to work those creaks and cracks out. Next in-breath extends left leg tall. Next out breath threads. Left foot hooks underneath your right thigh. And now you can see it on this side. My left foot is at my right bum. My right hand's going to grab my left ankle, or maybe my left foot, top of the left foot, and pull it in a little closer towards my right bum. Left knee is opening up towards the mat. Keep it here, and you'll feel that nice activation through the quad. For a little more, you can float your right foot up off the mat. Wrap that left hand around the top of that right shin and hug that right knee in close. The more space you create between those knees, the deeper you'll feel that quad stretch on the left side. But take it easy on yourselves. This is a big one, nice and early. But all of our programs have us working in a lot of squats lately, and these quad stretches can be a really nice way to release any of that stiffness that you might be carrying. I certainly know I am after class. Right foot comes down to meet the mat, and you'll unravel the same way you came in. Release the right hand from the left ankle, swim up left foot to sky, shake that one out, and then land left foot down to meet right. Walk those heels in by your bum. Arms go long alongside the body, palms face down. One early bridge pose will wake us up and open up those hips. So breathe in to prepare. And on your exhales, we all tip off. Send those hips up high to sky. pressing through all four corners of your feet. You're rolling onto the backs of the shoulders. You're engaging your glutes to pick those hips up even just a centimeter taller towards the sky. And on our exhale, start to slowly wave your way down your spine. When tailbone touches the mat, bring the bent knees back into the chest. And you can shake that one out, swirl it out side to side with bent knees. Rocking it out. Before you clip the undersides of your knee and find the long lengths of our spines as we rock forward and back. Building up some momentum through belly. You float your way from the back of your mat to the top. And toes might even touch the mat too. The next one or two more rocks, maybe your toes tap overhead behind you. But the second time you come up and your toes come up to the top, meet me in an easy cross-legged seat. I'll spin around. Take your hands on either sides of your hip bones. Pick your seat up off of the mat and then set your weight back down so that you know you have equal weight share between both sits bones. We're first going to take our hands up to sky, reaching high, palms together to touch. On your exhale, split your right hand down. Reach it down towards the right side of your mat, up on finger pads. Soften the bend in your right elbow and reach your left arm up overhead. My elbow my elbow is actually touching the mat. Maybe yours is too. The longer or further you walk out that right hand, the deeper the stretch. You can always keep it in close for a little extra support. The goal here is that you're spinning that left shoulder open, your chest peeking through. Your gaze can be up at the ceiling for the most, or down at your mat for a little less. Left hand winds its way all the way down, clips just outside the right knee. Right hand comes behind you, up on finger pads. You find your way into an early twist. That grip of that left hand outside the right knee, helping to work that left shoulder open towards the side wall. Peeling back right shoulder space. Your gaze can be here at the side or even at the back wall for a little more. Keep that left hand clipping the outside of the right knee. This time, release your right hand back up high to sky. You're reaching across the body over to the opposite side. Feel that long line from the right hip bone rooted down to your mat, right fingertips reaching tall. And again, you're spinning open right shoulder space to keep that chest lifted here. Right hand comes all the way down. It clips just outside the left knee. So you're in a little crisscross arm shape, and we're going to take just a little modified cow-cat. On your inhale, roll those shoulders back, open up your chest through your crossed arms. On your exhale, bow chin to chest and round. Like you're shrugging your shoulders up, curl in, pull your belly in too, rounding through spine. Softly come back to a neutral spine, release your hands up to the sky. And on your exhale, left hand comes off to the other side. We'll take this to the opposite side of our mat. Walk that left hand out as far as feels good, as much as it feels okay to reach. Right hand comes up overhead as you settle into the side body stretch. Remember, working that right shoulder open, away from letting it collapse up front. As you're peeling your chest open here, maybe it helps to look up. And if you can see the ceiling, you know you're in good shape. Right hand comes all the way down. It clips just outside that left thigh, maybe the top of the left knee. Breathe in, or I should say, take your left hand, take it back behind you for a twist. We'll go there first. Breathing in, maybe as you take that grip and open up the chest. Use your exhale to finish the twist, working that left shoulder back as you're pressing your right shoulder forward. Gaze can be here at the side or even over the left shoulder at the back wall, wherever you found yourself. That right hand stays right outside that left thigh. Breathe in, float your left hand up nice and tall. Use your exhale to reach across the body, left hand over to the top right corner of the room. Remember, long line, left hip bone rooted down here. Resist the temptation to pick your left bum up off the mat and feel that side body stretch opening you up. Left hand comes down, it crosses this time over the right hand. We'll take that cow-cat one more time. If you need to soften your grip, you can, just as long as your hands are crossed somewhere on the legs. Maybe they don't reach for the knees, they might just come up to the thighs. And if they're there, on your inhale, peel your chest open. Maybe even your neck feels okay to drop back. On our exhales, round. Cave into yourselves, give yourselves a little hug. Release those hands, they'll come off to either sides of you. Walk your feet out in front of you. Feet come flat on the mat, knees bent up to the sky, and we'll take a little reverse tabletop. On your breath in, you're spinning your fingertips forward, facing the same directions of your toes. Breathe in, prepare, and on your exhale, we'll all tip off. Send those hips high. They'll just come up to the height of the knees as you press your way tall. Your neck can stay neutral here with gaze up at the ceiling or even drop back if that feels okay for you. Take it back down to your mat. Cross your ankles behind you or underneath you. Walk your hands over your feet. Meet me up in a tabletop position. Stacking yourselves up on all fours. I'll spin around. A couple cow cats traditional will help warm us up. On your breath in, drop the belly. Flip your gaze up high. Roll those shoulders down the back. On the exhale, chin to chest, pressing through mat, we round. 2 more just like that, breathing in. Bellies drop low while gaze flips high. And breath out, belly to spine, fold. Last one here, breathing in, roll your way open. Breath out, roll your way close. Neutral spine. Left hand stays planted. On the inhale, rise right hand up tall. On your breath out, we reach through. Stay tall in that left hand, but reach underneath that right hand and thread. Stay tall through chest. Inhale takes you back up to sky. Right shoulder stacking over left. Exhale, reach through. One more, maybe just like that. Inhale, take it tall. Or maybe on this exhale, we all soften the bend in our left elbow. Send your way all the way down to your mat until your right temple meets a block, a pillow, or touches the mat itself. Your right shoulder space might hover here. It might not even make contact, but if it does, allow yourselves to soften into this stretch. No pressure there through your neck. Tweak those hips just a little bit to the right. When you find the reach through or the thread, it can feel really natural to let your left hip pop out. Left hand can stay in front of the face or walk your left fingertips up tall, up on finger pads to keep this one active. Side body stretch. Left hand comes back, it'll reframe your face. Exit the same way you came in. Press out of left hand, rise the chest, lift up right hand to sky. Right hand comes underneath right shoulder. And other side, we'll take that flow. Breathing in, float your left hand up tall. Exhale, reach through, stay tall out of that right hand. Breathing in, rise it up. Exhale, keep that right shoulder away from the ear with that strong arm. Last one, in breath. And an out breath. We thread our way all the way down, soften the bend through that right elbow. Maybe on this side it's a little easier to see that your left hip space might tweak its way out. And if it did, like mine, pull it back into center. You might feel a different kind of stretch at the back of the left shoulder. Your right hand can stay in front of the face for more support or walk it out tall. This is where I'm keeping it today. Finger pads at the top of my mat, just one breath. Right hand comes back down in front of the face. Press your way, chest lifts up tall, unravel, left hand to sky. Left hand comes down, it's tabletop position. Let's start to find our flow. On your inhale, rinse it out by dropping the belly. Flip it up for your cow pose. On your exhale, round, tuck, cat. Still gaze in between the thighs at the back of the room, at the back between your thighs. Tuck all 10 toes behind you. Breathe in, prepare. On your breaths out, press through the balls of the feet. We all lift our way up into a downward facing dog, nice and early. It's been a while since I've taped. It's probably been a while since you've watched. If you haven't made it to class this month yet with me, let it feel good to come back to your down dog by pedaling out the heels, shortening the stance of your dog by walking your feet in a little closer. If it helps to bring your heels a little softer to the mat, it allows you to take the pressure out of your shoulders, out of the wrists. And while you're at it, take those elbows, revolve them under to avoid that chicken wing effect, like you're taking a push-up. Pull them underneath you. It can help to relieve any of that pressure as you flow your way side to side. Fade out of the hips. Take little skiers, dropping your heels on one side and dropping your hips down towards your heels. Big bend through the knees as you flow your way through. Whatever movement feels good for you. And we'll take stillness in our dog. Think high plank on your next inhale. So roll up through tiptoes, pull your way forward until shoulders stack over wrists. A modified push-up lowers our knees, our chest, and our chins. Hinge at your elbows. Flatten the tops of the feet, roll those shoulders back. Breathe in, lift up a little bit through the spine, baby cobra. On your exhale, wave your way back down. Power push-up, tuck all 10 toes behind you. Maybe you press your way up with the support of your knees. Let's start there first, actually. Come up to the top of that supported push-up. With those toes tucked, you press through balls of feet. Send your hips back, down dog. Feet meet hands, so take a walk to the top of your mats, and we'll stay here in a forward fold. Feet will stay hips width distance as you drape your chest over your thighs. And I encourage you, let's all take a big, big bend with our knees so that our chests actually drape and touch our thighs. It allows you to release any of that low back pressure that I know we all carry from sitting all day long and then working it out in those squats, all that barbell work. You release. Arms can dangle freely like mine here. Ragdoll is a great option if you want to clip opposite elbows and just fold your arms. When you take Ragdoll, it might even just help you soften the wrinkles out of the back of your neck. Your gaze is through your feet, through your legs, peeking at the back wall behind you. Such an underrated stretch. When I'm in class, I can do this for far longer than we have time for. But if you're at home and you want to hit pause, take your time as you sway this one out side to side. Take stillness once you're ready to flow. Release your arms down. Keep your feet planted here on the mat. That big bend in the knees will help protect them as we rise our way up nice and easy. We stack spines tall to stand. Up at the top, when shoulders stack over your hips, give those shoulders a good shrug up by the ears. Soften them down the back. It's mountain pose. We're going to take our flow. On your inhale, rise both hands up high. Look up at the ceiling. On your exhale, fold hands through heart. We come back down to our folded legs. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Come up on a fingertips. Just lift up a little taller in the spine. We're going to work our way into a taller halfway lift each time through. On your exhale, plant both hands. Step just your right foot to the back of the mat. Swivel your way. I'm taking a bigger stance here to soften my right knee down and make sure that my left knee stays stacked over my left ankle. My right toes are going to stay tucked here at the back. On my inhale, we all rise our way up. Or on our inhale, we rise our way up and settle in Anjaneyasana here on our mats. Little lunge stance. Keep those hip points squared off to the front of the room. Those shoulders stay soft, even if your fingertips are shooting energy up towards the ceiling. Keep it here with the left bent knee on your in-breath. On your out-breath, sweep it back to a half split, dropping your chest over that front leg, airplane winging arms back. My fingertips are spinning to face that back wall. It'll help me roll those shoulders away from my ears as the crown of my head reaches forward. Left toes can stay on the mat for a little bit of balance. Maybe we fly. Flex those left toes back by your face and say hi to your hammies. On your next in-breath, bring your foot flat if it came up like mine. Ride your way up tall to that high lunge stance. On your exhale, hands to heart and take a twist. So you're opening up your chest towards that side wall. You're rolling that left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. We won't be here too long. On your inhale, rise it back up to the top of your mat, or to the ceiling, I should say. Exhale, frame your top foot with your hands. With right toes tucked behind you, lift your back knee. On your next breath out, sweep your left foot high to sky. This is three-leg dog. Sinking your right knee or right heel down heavy. Float those left toes, and you can even stir and shake this one out in the air. This feels good for you. Left foot comes down to meet right. Downward facing dog. We'll take this to the other side. On your inhale, rise up to tiptoes, bend the knees. Feet meet hands up at the front of our mats. On our inhales, lift up a little taller halfway. My hands are coming up towards my ankles, rolling the shoulders down the back. You can even keep a big bend or a micro bend in the knees. On your exhale, fold. Keep that bend in your knees to protect them as you sweep your way to stand high. Breath out, take it right back down through center. Fold. Inhale, maybe lift you up a little taller. Fingertips are starting to walk up the shin bones, middle fingers in line with that shin bone. Exhales, plant the hands, steps the left foot to the back of the mat. Swivel or swing that left foot a little deeper if you need to take a wider stance before you soften your left knee down. Left toe stay tucked, right knee stacked over right ankle. Breathe it in, rise it up, and settle in to your lunge stance. Keep those shoulders soft here for one breath in with the right bent knee. On our exhales, we sweep our way back to airplane wing half split. Softening the chest over that front leg. Your gaze is just past those front toes maybe to help keep that energy of your chest keeping you lifted like you're really about to take off. Maybe you are and you want to fly your front toes. We stay for one breath, so play with a little bit of balance here. As you float those front toes, maybe it helps you to soften your chest down towards that long leg. Next breath in, gently bring your way back to a front bent knee. Rise both hands up high to sky. On your exhale, it's hands to heart as you take a twist right away. Right shoulder spinning back, left shoulder spinning forward. Bring it back up to sky, in breath. Out breath, hands frame top foot. On your inhale, tuck the back, your back toes are tucked, so lift the back knee. Next exhale, we'll fly front foot to sky, 3-leg. Root down through that left heel to help you find a little bit of stability as you take some movement through that right long leg. Kicking it out here in the air, relieving some of that pressure out of that knee. Right foot comes down to meet left, it's down dog. A vinyasa to rinse that out, pull your way forward. It's high plank. On our exhales, we can take a supported, maybe just one more time before we take our full chaturanga. On our inhales, lift your way up to your cobra pose. On your exhales, tuck all 10 toes, hips go high. Now, actually, take a little detour, power push-up, coming back up to a high plank, and then sending our way back to our down dog. Just a different variation here for us. A little differently, we'll take that flow. Breathe it in, rise to tip toes, bend your knees, feet meet hands up at the front. Inhale, lift up, maybe even just a little bit taller. Exhales, take us down. Root to rise, stand tall. Exhales, take us right back down. We all fold. Breath in lifts you halfway. Breath out, right foot to the back of the mat. Lunge stance, and we're gonna float this one a little bit faster. On your inhale, rise it up. On your exhale, right away, take the split. Dive your way forward. Make it count, float those front toes, because on our next inhale, we're gonna come right back to our top foot flat, arms lifted. On your exhale, take the twist, but this time, maybe you stay tall out of this chest here, but if you wanna take it deeper, you might even start to hinge your chest forward. Your right elbow might make connection with that left thigh. It's never resting on top of that knee, so there shouldn't be any pressure on that side, but maybe it gives you a little bit of leverage to help you work open that twist. As you press into that left palm, you're pressing that right elbow against your left thigh to help you open up towards side wall. It might stay there resting on top. It might even come outside the knee for a deeper twist. This is where I want us to pause for just one breath. So we're creating space, creating time to work into that thoracic spine. Take your gaze back up towards the front of the room. It'll help us find balance as we release. Elbow connection from thigh, rise it back up. Exhale, float both hands down. They'll frame the top foot. Back toes, if they're not already tucked, lift the back knee. Use it to lift the back knee. Breath out, we'll fly. Left foot to sky, 3-leg. Left foot steps down to meet right. Once you've taken whatever movement feels good for you, we'll take that to the other side. In breath, rise, bend. Make your way to travel to the top. Inhale, lengthens you long. Out breath takes us down. Standing tall, scoop your way up. And breath out, we all fold right back down. Inhale, lengthens you long. Exhale, plants the hands, it's left foot to the back of the mat. Swim your way down, soften the left knee. We flow. Breathe it in, rise it up. Exhale, airplane, half split. Right away, breathing in, rebend to top knee, lift it up high. Get ready for the twist. Exhale, hands to prayer. Keep it lifted here with the chest, or start to take the hinge towards that side. Left elbow will make connection with the right thigh. It might even come outside that right knee, right thigh space to help you open up the chest. Remember, use the energy of that right hand to keep pressing into that bottom hand, your left hand. You're working to bring those thumb knuckles in towards your sternum, center point of your chest, to help you open up in this twist. One breath here, make it count. Find balance by taking your gaze back up to the front. Releasing elbow connection, inhale, we all rise up. Exhale, hands frame, top of the mat. Breath in, tucks the back toes to lift the back knee. Bellies will fly on the exhale, right foot to sky, 3-leg dog. Foot to foot takes us to our downward facing dog. Let's rinse that one out with a vinyasa. Pull your way forward, high plank. to lower. This time I'm gonna take this without supported. Hinging in my elbows, lowering to full chaturanga, just halfway. Flipping the toes, breathing in, lifting up to my cobra pose. Maybe you press your way back through down dog or tuck all 10 toes, roll your way back to a power push-up, and then send your way downward facing dog. Take a moment of pause here. Here's a really good detour, whether you're falling from home or wherever you are, to drop those knees wide, flatten the tops of the feet, and send those hips back by the heels. It's child's pose. Connecting forehead space down there with the mat. A nice little detour here in class. You never need me, of course, to cue a break here if you need it. You're always welcome to come down and take child's pose. And if you're in child's pose, you can keep your arms up the top of your mats. Maybe it gives you a little space if your forehead's connected with the mat to rock it out, left temple, right temple. I'm just coming up because I think the microphone catches a weird muffled sound when I come down. But if you're in child's pose, just stay there. You can just follow my verbal cues. In class, I even offer up, keep your elbows bent there on the mat, or bend those elbows. Bring your hands to prayer hands, and they'll hook right behind your head. It's a softer way to get into that shoulder space. Your thumb knuckles connected to the back of your necks. In class, I even say, give yourselves a little massage while you're there. Grab a sip of water. If you want to walk your hands back up, have a seat on your heels and grab a sip. We're going to make our way into that flow again and level it up even just a little bit more. Take your time. Hit pause if you want a little extra time here in your child's pose. But when you're ready to move on, pick your chest up off of the mat. Bring those wide knees back underneath your chest, or underneath your hips, I should say. Tuck all 10 toes behind you. We'll press our ways back. Downward facing dog. Next breath in lifts us to tiptoes. We all bend our knees. We all make our way to the top of our mat on the breath out. Inhale lifts you up, maybe even a little bit taller. Exhale, take us down. Standing high, maybe a little baby back bend at the top. Exhale takes us right back down to our mat fold. Breathing in, lift up halfway, keeping a soft bend in the knees to help protect them. On our exhales, hands plant, right foot back this time. Keep that right knee lifted. We're going to flow a little differently. Breathe it in, rise it up, your full Anjaneyasana, high lunge as you settle in and sink. A nice little hack here in your high lunge. Bend through that back knee to keep those tailbones tucked underneath you. Resist the urge to let your right hip pop out of alignment. Maybe you can keep your right knee bent there. It's actually a really good way to find a little extra balance, in my opinion. If you want to straighten out your leg, that's another option too. Here we are in our high lunges. Breath in. On your exhale, without straightening that top leg, just take an airplane dive, just like you did before, a little balance challenge. You're rolling those shoulders back, chest draping over that top thigh. Next breath in sweeps you back up to your high lunge. On your exhale, prayer hands, twist, standing. Now, maybe we don't take the connection here, but I want you to find some stability, like tree trunks. Your legs should stay stable here. You're finding all this revolving through your upper body in the chest. This is a lot, and we're only going to take it deeper. So find a place or a stance where you're comfortable. On your inhale, come back up to the top of the mat or rise both hands up high. Exhale, frame your top foot. We all fold here on our low lunges. A breath in keeps those back toes tucked. Breath out, flies, left foot to sky. 3 leg. And just a little challenge here. Keep your left leg floating. I'm going to offer it up an optional vinyasa. With your left leg floating, can you maybe pull forward to your high plank 3 leg? And if you're still with me, can you lower through your chaturanga, left leg lifted. Breathing in, pull your way up into a little modified cobra. My left leg is floating, maybe. My right toes are still tucked. They always stay tucked here. On our exhales, can you send it back? 3 leg dog. How was that, folks? Left foot steps down to meet right. Other side will take that flow. Breathing in, rise, bend, walk, step, or hop to the front of the mat. Soft bend in the knees as you lift up halfway, maybe even a little taller. Exhale, right back down. Stand high, maybe a little back bend at the top. Maybe flip your gaze up at the hands. Exhale, take it down. Breathing in lifts you halfway. Breathing out, hands plant, left foot to the back of the mat. Strong lunge foot pattern. Breathing in, we all rise our way up and settle in on this exhale. Take that bend in that back knee to keep that tailbone tucked underneath you, allowing yourself to stay stacked tall over hips before you straighten out your left leg again. Once you're there, our next inhales keep us here stacked tall in our high lunges. On our exhale, airplane wing, dive your chest forward. Keep that right knee stacked over that right ankle. Getting light in the ball of the back foot like you're literally about to take off. Breathing in, rise it back up, high lunge stance. We take the twist, exhale, hands to prayer. Open it up to the opposite side. Now to find a little balance, I realized I did this. I softened the bend in my back leg to help me find a deeper twist. You can use that to help you find some stability before you straighten out that back leg a little more. Try to work to keep that front knee bent over that front ankle. This twist is coming or originating all from the spine. Come back up, inhale. Hands split up at the sky. Exhale, split them down. They have freeing top foot. Breathing in, prepare. On your breath out, right foot flies all the way to sky. Now, you can just step right foot down to meet left, but if you're ready to take that three-leg chaturanga, now that you know what it looks like, let's take it. Roll your way forward with the right leg floating. Exhale lowers you, three-leg chaturanga. Right, left toes stay tucked, breathe it in. Press your way up through your cobra pose. Maybe that right foot hovers. All the way it hovers and helps you float high and back, three-leg dog. Right foot steps down to meet left, downward facing dog. Settle in right here. We'll take this one even just a little bit deeper. Breath in, rise to tiptoes, bend the knees. Make your way front of the mat. Inhale lengthens us halfway. Exhales take us down. Breathing in, stand tall. Breathing out, we all fold. We'll find our flow just a little faster. Breath in, lifts us up halfway. Keep that bend in the knees if you need to. Exhales, plant the hands, steps right foot to the back of the mat. Lunge stance, nice and strong. Inhale, rise it up right away. High lunge stance. Exhale, right away, we take the dive. Airplane, wings over left thigh. Breathing in, rise it back up. Take a soft bend through that back knee for this twist. On your exhale, maybe you keep your chest lifted. But if you're ready, you might find a hinge feels a little more natural, working that right elbow either to the top of that left thigh, making a connection. Maybe it even comes outside that left knee. You're in a really deep twist. If you need to find a little balance check, you can always bend that back knee, bring it down to the mat. Always keep those back toes tucked for more. And if you're ready to fly again, you'll bring that knee back up. I know for those of you who are holding this, make it count. Keep pressing into that left hand, top hand. Work those thumb knuckles into the center of your sternum. Working that revolution here. This is a really deep twist. Gaze down at your mat or maybe to the front for a little extra balance. Next, inhale, softly release elbow from knee connection, rise it up. And an exhale dives us down, framing top foot. Breath in, stay here in your low lunge. Breath out, we fly, left foot to sky, three leg. Stern swirl this one out right here, and we'll skip the three-leg chaturanga unless you want it. Just an option for you. This time left foot steps down to meet right. Down dog. Take that flow to the other side. Breathe it in, rise, bend. Make your way feet to hands. Breaths in, lifts us up halfway. Breath out, takes us down. Root to rise. Fold. In breath, half lift. It's left foot to the back. Nice strong stance on our inhales. Rise it up, high lunge. Exhale right away, take the dive. Breathing in, float those arms back up tall. Soften the bend through back knee. On this exhale, we take the twist, opposite side. Stay tall through chest or find the hinge. Maybe you find that elbow to knee connection. If you need to bring that back knee down to catch your way, maybe readjust your stance before you come up. It's a really good way to do a little balance check and come back. Once you're there, once you've found that connection where your elbow is meeting your right thigh, Keep working that right hand to press into that left hand. Work that twist open, chest towards side wall. One breath. Gaze comes back down to that front foot or top of the mat. Gives you a little extra stability as you rise your way back up nice and strong through legs to your high lunge. Exhale, split the palms, dive it down. Breathing in, here we are in our low lunges on the ball of the back foot. Breath out, we fly, coming off that right leg, leg to sky. Stir and swirl this one out here. This feels good for you. Keep it tall and lifted for this next variation. On your next breath out, or breath in, pull that right knee into the chest. Soften right knee to the base of the right wrist. We're setting up our pigeon pose. Swivel back leg as long as feels good for you until it's comfortable enough for you to land with the left flat foot and your left knee soft down towards the mat. Walk your hands up to where you are at your hips width distance, I should say. I'm up on finger pads when I do. And I want us all to take a pause here in this proud pigeon. A nice way to make sure that your hips are nice and active here and awake. Pigeon can feel like a very restorative pose, which I think it can be. But for this flow, this series, I hope we find a little bit more intentionality with it before we find our way down. Maybe you stay tall here in your pigeon. And as I come up nice and tall in my pigeon, I'm feeling a little bit more tight than I usually do. Maybe you stay right here. I'm up on finger pads. Maybe you want to put blocks underneath your hands to help you bring yourselves up a little taller. But for those of you who are ready to take this maybe a little bit deeper, walk those hands out in front of you. Stay up on tall hands. Maybe you come down to forearms. Maybe you extend or float your chest over that front thigh. We'll be here for a couple breaths, so make it count. Whichever pigeon depth feels right for you, but I want you to find a space, find a depth that feels okay for you. So stay. If you have temptations to maybe fidget or move, breathe through them. Use that breath to maybe work your way a little softer into this hip stretch. Two more breaths. Maybe you're walking your hands out even a little bit further on your mats. After that second exhale, start to walk your hands back up. We're all going to meet in that proud pigeon again. Once you found your way up tall, chest over hips, start to slowly sink onto your right bum like you're having a seat. Walk those hands off to the right side. You're going to bring your back leg up front. So you might lean over that right leg, bring that left long leg back around. Whew. And take this left ankle, cross it outside the right thigh. Left hand's going to swim behind you. You're in this little crisscross leg shape. Breath in, take the right hand, open up towards that side wall. Right palm is facing side wall too. On the exhale, right elbow bends. It comes outside that left knee. Work the twist. If this is too much, you can take the cross-legged variation we took in the beginning of class, right hand clipping outside the left knee. Coming back to the front of the room, let your gaze come first. Let your elbow release off that side. Walk your legs out in front of you. Shake this one out. Maybe it feels good to let that blood flow back through a right long leg. And we're going to take this to the other side. But we're not going to come back up. We've made our way down, so bend your left knee. Or actually, I should say, cross your ankles. Let's walk our way up. Land your left knee to the base of your left wrist and extend your right leg long as we make our way to pigeon on the opposite side. Settle in. Find the length, find the depth, or the height, I should say, that feels right for you. Coming up tall to your proud pigeon first. A really good place to find where you're carrying any stiffness, any heaviness, and to see how far you want to go today. With chest stacked over hips, you might find you have this side might be a little tighter, maybe it's a little more open. So show up for your body in the ways that it needs you. Stay up tall and lifted, maybe on this side. That's where I'll be. But if you want to walk it forward, you might just feel gravity start to call you towards your mats, walking your way. A couple breaths will hold us in our pigeons. Remember, if you find an urge or temptation to move out of this posture, use that energy instead to help you maybe work in a little softer, chest towards the mat, or maybe your hips just a little softer down too. 2 more breaths in your pigeon poses. After that second exhale, if your chest is walked forward, bring those hands back up to lift up the chest. We'll all meet up in our proud pigeon. Once you're there, start to softly release your left hip down to the mat. Bring those hands to catch up at the top of the mat. To give yourself some space, to sweep that right long leg back up to the top of your mat. Right ankle will cross outside the left thigh here, and we'll take that twist to the opposite side. Right hand, right finger pads sweep behind you. On your breath in, take your left hand up and open up palm and chest towards side wall. On our exhale, we can bend left elbow, outside right knee. Work this twist. A softer variation to all that twisting we were doing should feel good. Release that elbow off the knee connection. Bring both hands behind you. I'll catch you there as you bring your legs up in front of you. Shake that one out and let the blood come back through the left leg, the right leg. Work it out here. This time, both knees come up towards your chest, both feet flat to the mat. We're going to take one more reverse tabletop. So take your hands just behind your hips, spin those fingertips forward so all 10 toes, all 10 fingers facing the front of the room. Breathe in and prepare, because our exhales will all lift off. Pressing through all 4 corners of the feet, I should say. Lift those hips up to about knee height. Pressing through the palms, your arms stay long here, but not totally locked out. Keep a bend through those elbows to help protect them. This reverse tabletop, releasing any of that extra stiffness, opening up those hips to sky before we all lower our ways down. Bring your feet back out a little further. If you're landed next to your bum, bring your arms out too. Palms spinning in to face each other, thumbs spinning up. Engage your belly. Sit up nice and tall with this bent knee seat. On our exhales, keep the energy there in your belly, that fire in your belly, to make this slow and controlled descent towards our mats. Nice and easy. And when you can't hold it anymore, land softly on our backs. We bring bent knees into our chest. Stir this one out right to left, left to right. Knees can stay bent here. If happy babies in your practice, you might send those feet up to the sky. First up, you can take your hands, clip just behind the thighs. Maybe you stay right there, working those hips. Maybe your hands walk their way up the legs a little taller. For the most, they'll grab for the bottoms of the feet. Side to side, you flow. Massage out of the spine, catching our breaths again as we wind our ways down. Come back through center, find stillness, release bent knees into the chest. Reach those arms up overhead, reach those legs out long. A nice full body stretch here to help you take up some space. Work and breathe in all that good new energy, that new space you've made here too. And on the exhale, just release. Arms go long alongside the body. Split the feet wide for your final rest, your Shavasana. Stay here as long as feels good, especially in the comfort of our own homes or wherever you found this flow. Shavasana is the most important part of your practice. Maybe before you find your way there into total relaxation, if your body's calling out for a posture or position we didn't yet find, feel free to take it. But I encourage you to find a place of peace and of stillness where you can stay for the next few moments or so for you, allowing the benefits of your practice to just soak in. The final few resting moments are all for you. Stay here as long as feels good. I encourage you to use up this time for yourselves. You found it here on your mats. So no rush at all. But once you're ready to move, you can bring some movement into your bodies. Flutter out the fingers, the toes, shake out the head, no. Reach those arms up overhead for one final full body stretch. Bring those wide feet together to touch. Toes pointed at the top of your mats, fingertips reaching back. On the exhales, wrap bent knees into chest. Drape your arms, wrap them around the shins. Give yourselves a moment of gratitude by giving a hug here for yourselves. Arms float up overhead, and then just let the knees drop off to whatever side body feels good for you to lay on for a final moment of rest. Catching your head with whatever arm fell on the bottom. Keep those eyes closed as you press your way up to an easy seat. Whatever that means for you. Hands come over heart center space. For me, it's one palm on top of the other. Thank you all so very much for finding some space here on your mats today with me. I hope this practice served you in all the ways you needed it. The reset, the recharge, the release. Bring palms together to touch if they're not already there. Bring thumb knuckles up to third eye space, right in between your eyebrows, the center of your intuition. We offer it out one final time by tipping hearts and gaze open to sky before we all bow forward together.